And this is why you grind and wait around to get all games in with rain. Doubleheaders are, you get caught playing many in the big leagues, you're going to pay a piper.
Well, having said that,
what is a piper? People say it, pay the piper. What is a piper? What do you got? Having
said that, you look at today, and both of the guys who were starting pitchers today were in Norfolk when these games were supposed to be played.
So was Oliver.
So, but obviously you needed innings from them today. I mean, how nice was it to get those innings from both of those guys today when maybe they weren't a part of the picture, a month ago?
The obvious, the other side of that's not good. We had, what did we end up getting out of them? 6 and 5, 11 innings? Pretty impressive. Obviously, against teams coming off a good series in Toronto, playing a lot better. So, this big force, we're going to have to probably make some adjustments with our bullpen now because everybody pitched today, but we spread it around. But we'll see. We got some work to do tonight before we leave here.
Do you exhale a little bit after a day like today, or?
Exhale. I'm just glad I'm inhaling and exhaling, period, at my age. So I don't know. No, we knew it was coming, but you know what? It's like everybody. It's been sitting there, and everybody knows it's coming. It's one of those things that you've got to get through before it and after it. And then I think about the White Sox. They played some tough games in Toronto. They had to travel here. We had it easier than they did, and now they're headed where, Houston. So I don't think people realize the challenge. We're not the only ones facing all through baseball. The schedule is a challenge. Let's keep in mind while we're playing these two games. It was. Self-inflicted. So, I think sometimes we lose sight of why we're doing what we're doing today.
How rolled his ankle look like in that one play?
It was an awkward slide. He's lucky that his spike didn't catch. He spun around. Richie looked at it. Taking a hammer and hammering your shin 2 or 3 times today. The things that Adams, he's just a real post-up guy. I'm telling you, the play he made to end the 7th inning, that and the backdoor on the cutoff at first base. Most people, I'm telling you, you play the 16 innings he had played at that time, and that was a big out to have Abreu lead off as not anything other than the 4th run at 5-3, and that ball's hitting left center field, and a lot of guys, may not have got to that ball. Those little things that don't go unnoticed, and that's why he is who he is. And I know the pitchers. That's a big play, having him lead off the next inning against Darren. Because we didn't, it was Darren and Zach and Brad one up, one in, and that was it. It was Chris Davis after that. We're trying to win that game.
Buck, we've talked about the bullpen before, but are you pretty...
It wouldn't have been Chris Davis, but yeah. Someone like him.
Impressed with the job that they did today? 4 scores?
Yeah, Ollie, Ollie... I don't think I've ever seen that inning before, and it was hard to believe there was a 0 hanging out there. But we'll take it. And, he got the win, right? Right? Mike got the win.
How do you think he did, really?
Who?
Right.
Mike, he was a little elevated with some pitches he's trying to get down. I thought he got around some breaking balls. I didn't like that bats that the guys coming up in the 6th inning had off of him, and I thought Ollie could defend himself against all the left-handed hitters, and he eventually did. He threw 3 or 4 pitches were strikes that were called balls, so, so it's tough for those guys. First time I see that split. I think he had 3, maybe 4 pitches balled that were strikes. Did you just yawn?
No.
There's no yawning in here.
I suppressed it.
Do you drink coffee?
No.
That's your fault.
Look, you were talking about this doubleheader and not looking forward to it, but having...
Well, I wasn't dreading anything. He was coming.
There were a lot of adjustments that had to be made. And
byproducts of it now, the next 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I was going to say, after having lost the first game with that great performance by Sale, you get out of here with a split and maybe your bullpen's somewhat intact. You feel
I've got some private thoughts about the way you approach doubleheaders, but it probably wouldn't read very good. Doubleheaders in the big leagues. In the minor leagues, we were kidding about a home plate before the first game. They're 7 in, and they're over in no time. You guys have been around them, and in the big leagues. you can win, split, whatever, and the ramifications of them last for a long, long time. We're going to have to make adjustments in the BP schedule tomorrow, the advanced meeting, some things, whether I might not play a couple of guys tomorrow that normally would have, and we're getting ready to play Tampa. So it's part of coaching, managing, whatever. There's a lot of things you got to be on top of. Who pitches, who doesn't pitch, where guys go, talking, they're playing a 12 o'clock game today, and we don't know how the doubleheader is going to go in Norfolk, so you have to be far ahead of that. So that's why it's so important to have an optional, maneuverable roster.
But for a variety of reasons in his season and a quarter here, David Lowe hasn't played an awful lot. He seems to be garnering some more playing time. Could you talk a little bit about how he's...
And David's he's an impactful contributor in a lot of ways. He had an infield single and a broken bat single to center and shows up good on the scoreboard. And stole a base, played good left field for us, as have other people with as good, if not, good track record. David's going to get plenty of opportunity. He's had opportunities to, I'm hoping somebody kind of takes it and runs with it sometime. But, I understand they have to get the opportunity, but, they'll continue to be there for him. He's got to run with it.
I know you don't look for the attention, but you tied Whitey Herzog on the all-time wins list, 35th place.
I bet I got more losses than he's got, or we have, teams that I was fortunate enough to stand in the dugout with.
Name there. Does that mean anything?
Hall of Fame name. We got Whitey. That's a Hall of Fame name. There's no Johns. You start, that list has got a lot of nicknames, doesn't it, as you kind of move around? My daughter's aware of that. I didn't know she knew who Whitey Herzog was. It means you have done something a long time. You've been fortunate, that's all. Just, I don't really have any thoughts. I bet Whitey doesn't have a gnome.